where somebody said you can't have ATVs, and they prevented him, but
it never came in front of us.
Right.
It wasn't in Harwinton. It was my nephew in Granby,
Right.
who he has autoimmune disease, so he doesn't go to school, so he stays home and he goes out and rides his dirt bike a little bit during the day. And of course, his house, they developed all the way up to his house. He was on a farm in the back with horses and everything else and dogs, and he was out there riding his dirt bike, and the neighbor complained. The town basically gave him a cease and desist from riding his dirt bike. So he can't even go out there and ride his own dirt bike
On his own property.
on his own property. They got, I don't know, 12 or 14 acres. And it's been being litigated in court, and it may come to the point after that court case is decided where that's going to give people more rights than what we're doing here.
I think you're going to have a hard time at the public hearing with this.
And what is your reason then? Just so I could put this on the statement.
The reason is basically the case in Granby that took away somebody's individual civil rights.
Yeah, I don't think we want to do that.
No, but that's...
But what is your reason?
The
Right?
reason-
What's the zoning commission's reason for implementing this regulation? To allow for kids,
Just
to allow for the use to
ATVs and snowmobiles.
Recreational
End of
use.
story.
have a better
Use
reason
your
than
property
that,
for
Todd.
recreational purposes.
Yeah.
To what?
Use your property for recreational purposes.
It doesn't, do you need to specify on your own property here? So
But we can't say that because then Todd can't come to my house, or somebody else's kids can't
No,
come to my
I mean,
house.
but he'll have your permission.
Still, if you have your own property and you have whatever, if you're gonna, I don't know how you're gonna do it by acreage. If you have a quarter of an acre, you want somebody.
Well, you can't because, like you say, if you do by acres, the minimum building lots too.
Yeah.
We do have smaller lots in town,
Yeah.
but you can have an ATV to plow your driveway.
Yes.
Now you got to get a permit to plow your driveway
Right.
because you have an ATV.
Right. As opposed to.
So now let's just make snow blowers, tractors.
As opposed to a tractor.
Right.
You got a tractor, you don't need, but now because you put 3 letters ATV, you need a permit. So yeah, you probably do have to define that. In fact, it's okay because you don't need a permit for a snowblower, nor.
That's not
a tractor.
recreational
I'm sorry?
use. That's not recreational use.
What?
Snow blowing.
What about a tractor? Suppose I ride a tractor around my property for recreational. I'm enjoying it. What? You can't smile when you're doing it.
Like it that much. I don't see anybody that wants to start their snowmobile up having to get a special permit.
Yeah.
And if you recall, the reason for this was a huge court case in Granby that's still moving forward.
And there's issues in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had people call and say,
Right.
ATVs are out there all day on Sunday, and I
Yep.
can't open my windows. Should there be a limit? I mean, because you could have 20 ATVs out there. You could have 40 ATVs out there. I sure still would call up. I don't care if it's in the regulations or not, and I'd get an attorney.
If it's somebody that's doing something, like next door even, that's revving up 3, 4, 5 ATVs.
Yeah, but if they lived next door and did it all the time, your horses would be accustomed to it.
Not necessarily.
Pretty much. I've been a horse owner
And
forever.
my windows. Should there be a limit? I mean, because you could have 20 ATVs out there. You could have 40 ATVs out there. I sure still would call up. I don't care if it's in the regulations or not, and I'd get an attorney.
Right.
Just to say,
Right.
that if my neighbor has 40 ATVs out there, and someone at town hall says, "Oh, it's okay because it's permitted."
Where do you draw the line, though?
Why can't the neighbor just walk over and say, hey, could you guys quiet down or something? I gotta have a permit to do everything. You can't just, I mean, I say that 'cause
But
I
you
have
also,
this.
yeah, you also
Yeah,
have
but-
to take into consideration the elderly couple that just don't, they're not used to that. You gotta
I
take
think it
into
becomes
account
a
that.
civil matter, and we just put in our regulations and I have kids, so.
Yeah. So do
I
I.
have grandparents, you know what I mean? I don't think it's, I don't think
I
it's
mean, the
fair.
thing is-
I don't think it's fair.
Over and
But
over.
you're opening the door for,
Yeah, but if not, you're opening the door where a kid can't go out and start a snowmobile and ATV and quad.
Well,
After-
here's my side of it as a horse owner and wanting to ride my horses on my property. When people are making extraordinary noises.
You got
I'm-
you have to define extraordinary.
That's how we do it right here in Asheville, y'all.
This should be a pretty interesting public hearing anyhow, with everything going on. Got something for everybody.
Yep.
okay, page 56 for the liquor. 1,000 foot, deleting the 1,000 foot separating distance for setback.
What were we deleting?
We're deleting everything.
We're just deleting it.
The whole
We're just-
footage.
Yeah, and we're
Okay.
just saying that subject to the general standards of the liquor
Control.
Yeah, liquor. Planning didn't even know if it was constitutional.
Right. I don't think it makes any difference if you're 1,000 feet away and you pull out of a package store. The buses are going right by every package store in town.
Yeah. Mike Ryback called me this morning because I sent him this packet,
Yeah.
and he said every other town has the 1,000 foot separating distance or 500 foot. But
Right.
so I guess we'll
Leave it.
argue that.
Yeah, we'll argue that at the public hearing if it comes up.
Special
Lock the door,
exception.
nobody will show up, they won't argue.
You're not going to lock the door, are you?
Planning and Mike Ryback not in favor of special exception. Mike Ryback told me this morning, special exception goes it's synonymous with special permit. Well, if it is, why, I mean, I grabbed this from Torrington.
Right.
Right.
Why do they have this whole regulation on special exceptions if it's
But it's not
the
because
same as a special permit?
we can't give you a special permit for something that's not
Not
listed.
allowed.
Right,
The special exception allows you to do that.
yeah.